My son drained his girlfriend's bank account and refused even to buy her a tampon because toilet paper is enough, so I dropped him as my son. I have a son, and he has a girlfriend. I wasn't close with her as we didn't have much in common, but I liked her and welcomed her into the family. They had been together for just over a year. Over the past 6 months, I have noticed a change in her behavior. She and my son usually come over at least every 2 weeks for a family dinner. I knew they were having some money problems and financial stress, so I chalked it up to that. They came over last Christmas for dinner with about 7 other close family members. She was quiet the whole dinner. Afterward, I was catching up on some dishes, cleaning up, and preparing desserts, and she joined me in the kitchen and asked if I needed help. I gladly let her come in to help me with the pies. She seemed skittish, so I asked her if she was okay. She looked at me like a deer in headlights and then started crying. I thought it was about money. The holidays can be challenging when finances are tight. I pulled her in for a hug and told her if they needed help, they just had to ask her if there was anything I could do. After a few minutes of sobbing, she was able to stop, and she just blurted it all out. My son was abusing her. She showed me the bruises on her arm from him grabbing her. She told me how she couldn't talk to her family without him present. He told me how he controlled all of her money, had her move in with him, and made him the primary bank account holder. She cried and said he wouldn't even let her buy tampons and told her rolled up toilet paper was enough. There was so much more to it. I stood there in shock as she told me all this and more. Finally, she stopped and took a deep breath. I don't know how to get out. I'm scared. I wanted to kick him out of my house then and there, but having been abused by my son's dad, I knew that would make things worse for her. I told her to go out there and act normal. Don't say anything. Keep your head down and do what he says. I told her I'd get her out safely and immediately. It took a few days, but we did it. She stays with me while we get everything, like her bank account, which he has almost emptied, and her living situation. I also told my son he is no longer welcome in my home, and he is no longer my son. I would do what I did over and over again. The issue is, what little family I have, on my son's and my son's dad's side, are outraged that I choose her over him. Damn right, I did, and I'll do it again. Update: it has been just over 2 weeks, and she is doing well, as is anyone in her situation. She has been slow to take care of things. Sometimes, she can only lie in bed. I know how she feels, so I indulge her in that regard and try to support her in caring for at least one thing daily. I have her making a daily to-do list and putting on it even the simplest things like update, resume, and take a shower because crossing something off a list can feel fulfilling. Her ex, my son, showed up at her work and made a scene. Her work did not understand her situation, so she went home early that day and wrote her resignation letter. She is college educated, has been working on finding another job, and is dabbling in returning to school for another degree. She is still living with me, which is likely already obvious from what I have said. I told her she was welcome to stay with me as long as needed. I was once a struggling single mom, but once I got my master's, things were better financially. I know what it is like to struggle and barely get by. I don't want that for my kids, and they are always welcome to stay with me rent-free. When she was ready, I told her I would help her find her place. She did end up filing a police report simply to have the paperwork to get her bank account fixed, and possibly some of the money returned that he had drained. This isn't guaranteed, and can take a long time, so you may have to go to civil court. As I knew it would be, the report was frustrating. Like they always do, the police told us there wasn't anything they could do about it and that there had to be a pattern of behavior to prove she needed a PPO. Tomorrow, we go to the court to file paperwork for a restraining order, as long as they accept it. As for his family and mine, who were bashing me for being a lousy mom and abandoning my son, they got a reality check. My son snapped at one point and went on social media, entirely verbally bashing me and her. Some of the things he said were horrible. He called me the C word, and her name calls me a lady of the night. He talks about how he knows better than a woman does in what is good for her, that she is a spoiled brat who needs to be put in her place, and violent threats. It made a bunch of people start to see that side of him. The posts were screenshots and printed to add to the stack against him. We are still fighting this uphill battle, but we will win the war.